Hello, world. Welcome to episode 43 for the podcast monitor. Last time we completed all the kind of essential logic that we're thinking about for the controller in this prototype and got it working. Format was a little off, but otherwise, basically, we have all the episodes for the day. We can create the list of them, and then we can tweet it out with replies for individual episodes and links. So now that we've done that, we're going to get going on the controller deliverable, starting with the unit test for it. So let's get started, and we will create a branch for the controller 24, and we'll come in here and we will mark that in progress, git commit am, starting deliverable, and then we'll also mark this one in progress. And we'll say git commit am starting UT task. All right, so the first thing, let's just verify once again that everything in the test suite works. Great. And we have 64 tests. So we're probably only going to add one more test. I don't want it there. I actually want it in here. So we'll add in controller unit test.py, and then we'll import unit test class controller test unit test suite. Or is a test case? I'll look that up in a second. We'll have def setup, and we're just gonna do that there. Def teardown, def test hello, and then we'll come down here and we'll say if name equals main, then we'll do unit test main. Okay, let me just double check the format of all this. Yeah, test case. And unit test main. All right, so that's good. So now Python tests controller, and that runs. So let's go git add and git commit -m created controller test skeleton. And just real quick, let me just double check. Yeah, I would just use the test as the word for that. Right. So we created that. We also need to wire it in here. So we'll come up and we'll say from controller unit test for controller tests. Come in here and go controller test. And now we should be able to just do Python test suite all. We should get 65 tests, so we'll say git commit and wired UT into test suite. I'm gonna reset that and just spell it right. Use the screen. Okay. Now that we've done that, We don't need this. And we can create the actual test here. In a way, it's going to follow, like if we look at the feed here, we have this data, episode data, metadata. We create the data here. So we are going to start with kind of data like this. So what is it? The feed parser. Metadata, expected. So we're going to do something kind of like these here, right? Because the controller kind of goes around it. So the feed parser was already kind of taking information that was in this, throwing it in here. And so we're going to mimic this same thing, and then the output, we're going to mimic the Twitter side of it, basically. So if we start with the feed parser here, right, we have this metadata. And then we're using the stub RSS requester, which will return all this information. And so what we'll need to do is, this one is for the main, so we're going to end up needing to create another another set of data for another kind of feeds that we can at least like compare them and stuff. So we'll probably need to make an update to the stub RSS requester that'll mimic that and allow us to get kind of multiple feeds. And then so let's see, our feed metadata, feed parser unit test. Okay, so let's start with well, I guess essentially take that. All right, so let's start with this. So what I'll do is we'll grab hold on one second. The other thing I wanted to check out is the stuff again. So what's in here? Which shows we have? That's the network. So we got the Cooligans, God Bless Football, Mystery Crate. So what I can do is I'm going to use this data again, but I can keep Mystery Crate and these two, and then Stupidity, and then we'll do Southbeat Session. So we'll grab these four here, and we'll come into the controller unit test, and we'll say this is going to be feeds JSON. I'll put that in. The other thing I want to just check real quick. So the question is going to be, are we passing in the JSON file and then it's loading it, or are we passing in the dictionary, right? So basically we're saying, are we calling this and then everything below it is in, or are we passing in like a path to a file and then it's loading it? And I think we're going to end up doing that. And none of these, you don't have any like resources up here. All of that stuff is kind of in this area. And so if I were to I mean, I guess I could just pass it in. No, I don't want to use. All right, so I don't want to like reuse this. So I kind of want to fake feeds.json. So I'm going to create a folder in here, resources. And in here, I'm going to create a file. And so I guess we could call it stub feeds.json. And I'm actually going to take this information in here, come over to the stub feeds and add this in here. And it needs to be inside of the list. Cool. Okay. Equals resources. Stuff feeds.json. All right, we'll start with that there. So what do we do? And we'll say git commit -m created stub feeds.json for test data. Okay, so if we have that, and then we have so that's going to basically be the input, right? And so what we'll do is we'll say test I'm just going to call it test controller, right? And so in here, so we also will need to make sure we do how was I doing it from other tests? Was it from? Yeah. From utils.ensure input. Oops. Add that, and then we'll call ensure import. And we'll want to say from controller import controller, which we currently do not have, and we'll call that a pass there, and I'll just do that. Okay, so now let's just, it's obviously going to fail, and it's going to fail because we don't have the controller. And so what we'll do is we'll just create it in the same one. So we'll come here and we'll have controller.py and then class controller pass. All right, and now git status, git add. And so well, now just if we do this real quick, right, it passes again. So we'll say git commit -m created empty controller class. Okay. So then basically in here, right, we're going to want to controller equals controller, and then controller dot run today, and we'll give it self.fees JSON. And we'll need to pass in, so we can, let's look at this. All right, so we have the feed parser. We have the tweet set up. The message factory, the filters are all fine. So we are going to need to pass in basically the fakes and the stubs and stuff that we have. So the requester and the Twitter API. Now we could pass in the whole thing. But I think I'm just gonna pass in. Right, like I could pass in I could construct a feed parser outside and pass it in, or I could say, okay, well, you just need, pass in the requester, or if you don't, you can create your own, which would be fine. So here we'll say run today, and we'll give it. So we'll want to do the same thing as the feed parser, right, where we pass in a stub requester here. Like we also passed in the parser, but that's fine. So we'll have that requester equals stub requester, and we'll also need to do the same thing as the Twitter one, where we Twitter and we pass in the fake API, but we'll also need to do the same thing here where we have a copy of it, so for the test that we can verify things. So so we'll add this up here. And we'll need to say, what do we have here? We have Twitter API. And so we'll say Twitter API equals self.api. And now we're going to need to come in here and say from Twitter API fake import fake Twitter API from RSS requester stub import stub, and then put those alphabetically. Alright, so now if we run this, it will still fail, but it won't fail because of any of that stuff. It'll fail because run today doesn't exist. So let's just, I want to go Python tests controller object has no run today, so we'll come into here, controller, and we'll say def run today self. I guess these things make sense to actually pass in here. That's fine. Same thing. So that'll just be there. We'll also need def init, and that'll be self, and that'll be we'll make them, we'll put them here, so they'll have to be called using this named parameter. Requester equals none. Twitter API equals none. Check it out. Let's run the test again. It's now got an unexpected keyword argument requester. There we go. And it takes one positional argument, but two were given. Oh. And then we need feed metadata JSON. So now we'll say, if we look at what we did here, get status. We basically defined the methods, or declared the methods in there. And added all that stuff in here. So we'll say git commit am declared controller methods and updated UT test flow to call. Okay, so now basically what we'll want to do here is we'll want to say, we'll want to create the kind of expected data self dot, actually, well, no, so we'll want to, what we're testing against is actually going to be similar to the Twitter one, right? So here, we were basically saying the timeline, and we were verifying the timeline is this list of tweets. So here we actually will say self dot expected timeline. But actually we'll do that even though we only have one test. Do that in here. Move itself, expected timeline equals, and what do we have? We have fake Twitter API tweet. So here we have these tweets that we can set up using this. And so in the Twitter test, right, we basically said, okay, we're going to take this tweet and we're going to wrap it into here. So instead of saying fake API dot tweet, we could just call that. And so let's copy these methods. We'll use them in here as well. And so, but I'm going to underscore them here. Well, that one I won't. So I guess that one I won't either. Expected timeline is going to be this, and then at the end we can say self dot expect, or self dot, what is it, assert equal self dot timeline and expected timeline, right, which is basically what we're doing here. Okay, and so now we just need to fill in what the tweets are, right? So in fact, right now it should still pass. Python tests controller unit test.py. Yep. So we'll just add this in. We'll say updated UT to verify fake timeline contains expected data without any data. Okay. So this is basically the structure of everything that we kind of want here. And so for this test, we basically just now need to define what these tweets are using this tweet method that we have here. And then that'll be everything, right? Because then everything else is, like, everything else we need to do is then in the controller, we need to, have everything, and we'll need to update the stub RSS requester. So why don't we do this stub here first? So we'll say so get data matches this. Oh, so I guess we can. So right here we were ignoring it. And where are we using this? We're using this in, well, I guess we're using it in the RSS requester. We have the functional test, so we're not using it in here. We are using it here though. Where are we using it? And so we're passing the empty string, and then in the feed parser itself, we're using it. Parser, get feed. Okay, so what we can do is we can essentially say if not URL, return that. Otherwise, we're going to return stub RSS requester. So basically, how do we want to structure this? So we have this string, and so we could okay, so let's do this. So what we'll say is we'll have, this will be raw. Where do we put this? So because basically we want to create ones for each of these. So I'm just going to copy these over real quick. One by one. Well, I guess I can do them all at the same time. Okay. And okay. So these are the names of each one, right? And so this is what's going to end up getting kind of passed in. So let's create a mapping equals this. And for now, we'll say stub RSS requester dot raw RSS data. So they're all mapped to the same one. Close this, and we'll say return mapping dot get URL. So wait, where's the one that we're actually returning? So the feed parser. Well, actually, so I guess we want these because that's what we're going to end up passing, right? So this one in here, the feed parser, it's giving metadata to an actual parser. And then so the RSS parser here, hold on, what's it doing? So where were we? The feed parser. So passing the metadata, and we're calling get feed in parser. So we come here, get feed, metadata, the URL gets passed to get data. Okay, and so this is what's actually going to happen, right? But it's going to then, this requester is going to be this fake requester, or the stub requester. So actually I don't want these. What I actually want is to put in here the these. So we'll do this, and this. Alright, so these are the actual ones. But the other thing is, we only really need We'll do a percent s here. We'll say URL format equals that. And then for these, we can basically get rid of all that. And we're going to take these here. We're going to replace those. And then we'll say here, we'll say URL format percent URL. And then if there's none, we're just going to return the raw data. And so I can get rid of this, that, let's fix this, and then we'll remove these. Okay, so yeah, we're passing in the, so now we're actually kind of differentiating. In this case, they're all the same, the raw RSS data. And these each feeds, I am going to copy the names though. And what I'm going to do is real quick, come in here, go and get rid of these. Okay. So yeah, so now at least like they're all kind of listed nicely like that. And then so here we'll say, all right, so let's just check what changes we had. So we just modified the stub, and we basically just modified the get data method. So now let's verify test it all. Everything passes. It does, so we can commit this, and we could say git commit am updated RSS requester stub to actually use given URL. And then we need to basically add in, so this is, so then we're going to rename this one. This is going to be raw LAF RSS data. Is that the same git diff? Yeah, and now I just need to update all of these. And let's run the tests again real quick. Git commit am renamed raw RSS data to raw LAF RSS data. Actually, git reset. I don't like that name. It's very awkward. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it at the end. So I'm going to say raw RSS data LAF. And now let's update all these. We'll do our due diligence here. And then we'll commit it and we'll fix this name. Raw RSS data LAF. Okay. So now we need to add in the data that we're going to kind of expect for stupidity, mystery crate, and South Beach sessions. The mystery crate one will be easy. So first I'm just going to copy this real quick. Oh, I meant to copy the whole thing. Copy this. I'm going to make that. That's that. I'm going to get rid of, so I want the same items, so I'm going to get rid of these items here. But I'm going to need to update this. So let me come in here, and this is mystery crate. So I'm going to copy this, switch over here. And I want all this information. I don't know, do I want all of it? Let's see. So here we have the channel, we have the Atom link, title, language, copyright, description, owner. Okay, so it looks like we only have, we have this information, title, language, copyright, description. We don't have the image. So I'm going to copy this. Come over here. All right, so we came down to the description here. And so we'll place these. And then we need the iTunes author, the iTunes owner, and just those two. So if we're here, we have iTunes author is this one, and then summary, iTunes owner. So owner, I can get rid of the content and code and the summary. So switch back over, replace these. Move that over, get rid of that, this, in here, and there. Alright, so this is the mystery crate one. So MC. We'll come down here and we'll update mystery crate. And so yeah, we just have the raw data for that, and then the change there. So we'll say git commit am updated stub with mystery crate RSS data. All right, and now we have Stupidity and South Beach sessions. So similarly to that, we have the one item for Stupidity here that we care about. So I'm once again just going to take this whole thing. And we'll come in here. We'll remove these two items that we don't care about. We'll remove Cooligans. And that one's only going to be on that other feed, so that's fine. And then we have this in here. And like they match exactly, which they wouldn't do, but we're testing that elsewhere, so we don't really care that they definitely match exactly in this case. We can always do something, well, I guess the other one's not going to have anything. So, all right, now we need to come over, we need to come into here, and we're doing Stupidity, so let's grab this. I guess I can just do that. Come over. All right, so now for Stupidity, again, we want all this information through the description. And we can update these. And then we need, I'm just gonna copy these in. So we want the iTunes author. And then we want the owner. All right. And then we have the item. That's all good. And this is going to be we'll say stew for this one, Okay, and so we'll do the same thing. We saved it. That all looks good. With stupidity RSS, and then the last one we want is the South Beach sessions. So we'll just come in here, South Beach sessions, and wow. So here, actually, what I'm going to do, instead of copying all of it, I'm going to use the same thing here and then just replace the information. So we'll come in here, that there. Now we need to get an episode, so we'll just grab the latest item. Oh, wait. What is this one? It's still stupidity. Stupidity. I think I just clicked the wrong one. Come over here. South Beach sessions. Okay, so we'll grab the one with Izzy. Come in here. Come back over. So item, we just have title, description, pub date, duration, and the enclosure URL. So title, description, pub date. No, duration. And then the enclosure. Alright, and that all looks good. Oh wait, and then item, okay. So that's good, and this will be South Beach sessions. And then we'll place that for that one there. And so, diff. And we'll say in here, South Beach sessions. All right, so that's all good, that's updated. And now, we come into, we don't need this, don't need that, controller, I'll leave those, don't need this one. Okay, so now basically we just need to define what the expected timeline is. So the first one will be tweet, self.tweet. Alright, that's how we were doing it in the Twitter one, yeah, self.tweet. And this will be, we'll have 0. This is going to be, so the first tweet is going to be the podcast listing. And then we have a total of, I still need the stub open. So there's one episode here. There's one episode here. There's 2 here, but those are all, or well, I guess, so these 3 episodes, there's 4 in here, and there's this one, which is separate, and then these 3 are the same as 4 in there. So there's 5 episodes total. So we're gonna have 5 tweets. And the parent ID for all of these is gonna be 0. And they will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I don't necessarily know what order we're gonna have them come out in, but I guess we can start with this one. So we'll just say Cooligans God Bless Football. This Mystery Crate episode. The Rule of Two. And then South Beach Sessions. Oh, I didn't update this here. So I updated the episode, but I need to also copy this information as well as the iTunes author, and then the owner is the same. And RSS requester stub git commit -m corrected SBS metadata. Okay. And then did I add that in here? No, I didn't. So this will be South Beach Sessions. Okay, and so now I'm gonna grab the messages here. Okay, and then for the Twitter test, I didn't do any multi-line tweets. So yeah, this is where, right, I could do something like hooligans. So where's my messages? Messages. /n. That. This will be at Laboratory Show released, and these are going to be the titles of each of the episodes. So we'll come back into the stub here, and we'll grab titles, title, and we have 5 episodes. That's 5. God Bless Football. At least for now, there's a space there in the test data. Mystery Crate, and then Izzy. Okay, and then the other thing, so in here, So right now we have run today. So I could just say run, and then what was the prototype? Right, so we're passing in the year, month, the day into UTC. We'll say date equals, so we'll need to import these. Okay, so basically, so you set it up, you're not going to have to give them these, so you can set it up and then you basically see, send this, and then the actual date I want to, so here we'll say run day, which we'll need to update in here, run day, I'm not going to add those in yet, fix that. Alright, so date, and this will be date equals, did I input things above or below? Above, okay. So this will be dt dot now. I'll just do that for now. Well, so what do I want to have it import? I guess I'm going to have to actually create an actual, similar to the prototype. Okay, so let's just add this in here. And instead we're going to do 2023 month 5 day 14, and then we'll leave all that stuff in. That's all good. Date will be today. Okay, and so now then we need to, so and we formed this in here. And so we need to form these messages, which will be something of this form. Blank can only be found on, so the first one, Cooligans, can only be found on the main feed, so that'll be this string that we use. And I believe we use the title here. Let me actually look. I was doing it in the prototype, I guess. So here we're saying info for both app. Oh, so this is done in the factory, message factory. Yeah, so we do the title, ID, and then the links. The ID is given, the links are given, bulleted format. The ID is the Twitter handle if it exists, otherwise it's the name, and then we have the links. So in this case, where we control a unit test. Okay, so we'll say, we'll close it there. I need to open this up here. Open that up there. Can only be found on the main feed, \n. Close this up. And then we need the links, which will come in here. It'll be these. And right now we have this. Close that like this. There, \n. And similarly, close that, \n. And then close it that way. All right, so now I'm going to take this tweet here, copy it there. So now this one's going to be the God Bless Football, which will be on both feeds. So I actually need a slightly different string. Messages can be found on the main feed or the sub feed. So that'll be this line. I need to move this title down, has an extra space. Can be found on the main feed or the Stupidity sub feed, which has its own handle. This is the @sign. And then I need to correct these links to that. And this one will be that. And I need to update this to 2. I can do the same thing. So I got these more. This will be 3. This will be 4. This will be 5. Fix the names here. And then Israel Gutierrez. Okay, so these two can be found on the Mystery Crate subfeed, so they use the same text, but there is no handle here. So it's going to use the name. So this one and this one. This one is actually going to use a different message. So this one's going to use can be found on the whatever subfeed. And do we have, this one's also null. Can be found on the Laboratory and Friends South Beach Session subfeed. And now I just need to update all the links. Oh, so actually, I need these 2 lines here. So I'll have the main ones. I can get rid of that. And then it'll have the Stupidity ones after it. And so similarly, so I'm going to take these. This one will also have 4 links. This one will also have 4 links. And then this one will only have 2 links. The Mystery Crate ones are these. So I'll update this one and this one, as well as this one and this one. And then South Beach Sessions is only on the subfeed. So South Beach Sessions. And that one. And I can get rid of these. And I'll close those down to make it easy. So there you go. That is what the timeline will be. And so we'll say git commit. Well, let's just check status. So we'll say git commit am updated controller run today to run day and created tweets for expected timeline, and we'll say it's broken because if we run Python tests controller, all right, we now get an we get an error, string object is not callable. Why is it not failing? It's not failing for this one. Oh, I didn't do that right. That one stays, and then these all go away. Shift those over. Okay, so I need to fix these. So okay, so hold on. Alright, so this goes away, and that one stays. And this one goes away. Right? Okay. So let me update these. Update those. Update those. And now we'll get rid of this, that. There's also commas in random places. That one's fine. Get rid of those. Get rid of these, and these. Okay. Now we should get a failure instead of an error. Yes. All right. So we'll say git commit corrected expected string syntax. All right. So we get a failure that they're not equal. Right. This is not equal to these elements are not equal to here because we're not actually tweeting anything. So we need to, now we have everything set up in the test, and we should be able to basically match it by updating the controller to do everything. So let's git log 10, 15, 20. Okay. And we'll come in here and we'll say git tag ep 43. Okay, so we've now created the unit test, and we've updated the kind of all the resources and stuff that we might need. So now all we need to do is kind of take all this logic that we're trying out in here, and we need to create the controller to read the JSON, do all that information, and tweet out the stuff. So we're basically doing everything that's in the prototype, but we're actually coding it a little better in here, and then that'll make the test pass, and then we can go ahead and refactor things and update like some formatting and a few other things that we kind of made note of. So next time we will implement the controller. So until then, see ya.